Good morning, you're very welcome back. Now, whether it's on the water or in the ring, our next guests have made a habit of flying the Irish flag around the world.
We're delighted to welcome Olympic champion rower Paul O'Donovan and boxing world champion Lisa O'Rourke. They're sitting in here. They didn't even bring a medal for him to smell or lick or put around his neck.
One thing I always
he loves a medal.
I love a medal. I love a medal. Didn't get to hold many myself compared to you two. But...
do you know, Lisa? Do you know where your world championship? Do you know where it is, or have you lost it?
It's in a box at home.
It's in a box. You're not too sure.
High security now at home.
Oh,
I'd say I wouldn't be messing with you now. Going to your house to try and
Paul,
find
are
it
yours
as well.
in the parents' house?
Medal, I thought it was milk that he wanted us to bring with him. Because we're here in partnership with the National Dairy Council.
He's straight in.
And their new partnership with Sport Ireland. So we've loads of pints of milk for you, Tommy.
Don't you worry,
medals.
So that's the key to it then. So if I get that into me, then I win all the medals.
Exactly, yeah.
That's what you need to be doing.
Perfect. Okay, well, there we go. We know from the start of it.
But Paul, it's 10 years ago. It's 10 years since 2016 in Rio, when everyone in Ireland sat up and went, oh, lads, we should be going out in rivers a little bit more. Look at what these lads can do. It's amazing what's happened to the sport of rowing in 10 years.
Yeah, it's good, all right, to be fair. And you're kind of subtly insulting me as well, being so old now at this stage. That was a good one.
That's what I meant to do, totally.
No, it's brilliant, in fairness. Like, there's so many young people, young and old, and middle-aged involved in the sport. And it's great for the kids, and a lot of them seem to really enjoy it. They're doing very well. And even like all of the local regattas around the country, they're getting like record entries every year and stuff.
It's true. A number of my friends are getting into rowing. I never would have thought it. But like, what is it about the popularity? What is it about rowing that is it the testing of yourself, pushing yourself through barriers that maybe you never thought you could get through?
I suppose there's...
Or is there a teamwork side to it, maybe? That's the other part.
Probably has a bit of everything, yeah. Like, you can kind of test yourself individually, but you're working with a team. It's kind of a mix of strength work, endurance work, a lot of technical aspects to it as well. So it's kind of challenging in all regards, and like it works out all of the muscles in the body.
Well, there's nothing more challenging, because honestly, like between rowing and boxing, these are the two sports that we've done so well in. Running is starting to come as well. But Lisa, 4 years ago, you became world champion.
Yeah, it's crazy. Time is flying, really. Yeah, I went to that was my first elite competition, and never did I think, I didn't even have an Irish title. But I remember even saying to my sister, if I win one fight, like, that is just a win for me. Like, and then we just took it fight by fight, and next thing, came to the final and my hand was risen, and it was, special.
It's unbelievable, and to be there, like, listen, we've got siblings and sibling rivalries all on this couch at the minute, but having your sister there must have been unbelievably special. But I believe the rest of your family weren't able to make it out there. What happened? What happened to your poor
Mum was actually meant to go. Now, it was great having Aoife nearly at ringside, and Mum was going to go, and actually Aoife's dog, you know, one time you'd say in school, oh, the dog ate my homework. Well, the dog actually did eat her passport.
Are you serious?
So, Mum didn't make it out, but hopefully there'll be another day.
Because the dog ate the passport?
Well, not fully, but she had a good bit of a chew, a good St. Bernard, you know. Yeah. So that stopped Mother from coming.
But your sister, who was also a boxer.
Yeah, no, it was. Like, she's there all the time when I'm training, so no better person to have there at ringside when I come out of the ring.
But what is that like for you? Because obviously it's support. You've grown up together. You've taken on this sport together. Like, that must make it special, because you're pushing each other?
Yeah, no, I would say there is a bit of rivalry or that, but where it be healthy, kind of pushing each other. Like, I know her limits, like, and she can push me harder as well when we need to pull up the socks in that kind of way. So it's great. Not many people can say they have a sibling on the same team at international level. Well,
Paul can.
Exactly.
We're very lucky.
But literally, no one can ever say it, and there's two of you on the couch.
Well, I think it's important, like, to have somebody who knows exactly what you're going through, the highs and the lows of it.
I suppose in some sense, yeah, it's kind of good, but then kind of I suppose the low bits, like they kind of know when you're at a low bit and they know how to push your buttons as well to make even lower. So they can kind of drag the best and the worst out of you. But like overall, like it's very positive kind of experience.
Overall, hold on now, pushing your buttons. Why would Gary been pushing your buttons when you were training?
Yeah, well, like, do you know the way, like, sibling rivalry and all this kind of stuff.
We're just talking about the Healy Rays
like,
giving out about each other
yeah,
today.
and like you were saying, like, spilt milk, actually. I grew up on a dairy farm, actually, interestingly enough. And there was one stage, we were very young, and we had the big bulk tank where all the milk was going to, and we were filling up a big jug of it to bring back home. And usually we had a scoop that you put in the top of it and kind of pour it into the big bucket from there. But Gary was like, I have a better idea. We'll put the big jug underneath it and open up the bottom tap and it'll all gush out and it get done much quicker. But he couldn't get the cap back on. All the milk poured out onto the floor and he started blaming me for it. And then I got in all the trouble. So, like, that's the kind of stuff, like, your siblings be doing to you.
Genuinely your family's livelihood gushing out onto the floor.
What I mean? And, but, like, you know, we can laugh about it now, like, when we're older. So, like, it's kind of...
Wasn't so funny
At the
time.
Yeah.
Tell us, Lisa, like, what's training like for you at the minute? Obviously, you're flat out.
Yeah, I think you're always busy when you're an athlete. There's always something you're thinking of doing. Currently, I'm in Abbotstown in Sport Ireland, normally training twice a day. We're actually trying to help launch National Dairy Council with a partnership with Sport Ireland. They've come on board to try and give us high performance athletes this high performance breakfast, and it really is important. Like, going into a day, you do have 2 sessions at least ahead of you, and the breakfast kind of starts you off for the day.
Yeah.
And many of us athletes, like, you're going in and you're nearly on your second breakfast as to a normal person. So having the access to the high performance kind of breakfast in there, and with loads of variety, there's loads of dairy products.
Oh, listen. They're like hobbits. They're talking about second breakfasts here. The milk is in. Are you happy with that? He's been talking about milk.
Lucky there was some milk. He's poured it all down the drain.
Obviously, there's so much. You know, we're all looking towards LA 2028. You're like, I remember after the last Olympics, like, you were off, you know, going to Canada, like, a couple of days later. You weren't even getting to enjoy the Olympic Village. But of course, with Paul Kimmage's investigation into what was going on in rowing in Ireland, Paul, there's been a huge spotlight on the sport. How has that been for you? Like, about the treatment of athletes in the rowing centre.
Yeah, I suppose, you know, no one wants to see athletes treated like that. You know, for me, I spent a lot of the time away from the National Training Centre, you know, when I was in college and at the minute for work and stuff. So I probably didn't, you know, experience what other people did. But, you know, I suppose it's unfortunate, and hopefully things will improve.
Resolve, because as you said, you were away. You were you were becoming a doctor whilst winning Olympic medals.
Yeah, I did. Well, I had a year off more or less before the Olympics, so I was kind of doing a lot of training that year.
Good on you. Just a year off. So there you go. Just what you do. Lisa, quickly, just in terms of training, we're 2 years out. How's the training going for you at the minute in terms of the excitement of another Olympic Games?
Yeah, it's, I suppose all athletes are looking forward to it, but it's still a long journey ahead. So it's putting day in, day out, and making sure you're getting refueled, rehydrated, and keeping the body repaired. I'm currently actually coming out of an injury, so making sure I'm getting the right amount of fuel, and it was a bone break, so that extra calcium does the trick.
A bone break in her hand. That's what, she's a boxer and she's got a bone break in her hand.
We're comparing scars. There you have it. Listen, we wish you all the very best, and thanks so much for the pair for coming in here today and for inspiring a nation as well. Paul O'Donovan and Lisa O'Rourke, absolute stars.
Lovely to have you in. Thanks so much.
Thanks very much.